The scrolling layout. Now, if you've used Niri before, which is another tiling window manager, it's basically a scrolling tiling window manager, if you will. Basically, when you open a bunch of windows, what happens is it's not tiled in the regular sense. You get an endless array of windows that's just going to be launched over and over in the same workspace. So if I switch between the different windows over here, this is what you see. As you can see over here, I can launch infinite windows in this particular workspace and switch through them using super and left and right arrow keys. Basically just have multiple workspaces but combined into one. How this actually works is by using something known as columns. I will explain in more detail, but before that, you have to actually set this up. So how you do that is by installing a plugin called hyprscrolling. I've made a video on this in the past before, so if you want to know how to install this, you can go ahead and check that out. But TLDR version is you basically just run hyperpm enable. First we'll list. Okay, hyperscrolling should be here. You just run hyperpm enable hyperscrolling, and that is going to enable the layout. But there is still one more thing that we have to do, which is actually enable the layout. So you have to go to config hyper modules. I've actually set it inside of layout.conf. And by the way, if you're wondering what this modules folder is about, it's basically taking one file and then splitting it into multiple files, something I like to call modularity. So if I actually just show you, I teach you this in extreme detail in the first link in the description, the program. So if I just show you what I'm talking about, okay, this is what I mean. So in this module over here in anti-fragile modularity, basically I show you why make things modular, the apps that we can make modular, and how actually to go about doing that. Now this module, if I just show you how long this is, it's probably a 30 to 40 minute module on how exactly you can take every single aspect of your computer and basically make it modular. Now along with that, I also teach you how to make custom theme switchers like this one. So basically all you do is just you load up a bunch of your favorite themes. Let's just pause this. Yeah. So you just load a bunch of your themes inside of this Property menu over here, and then whichever one's your favorite, you just pick that, and then voila, the entirety of your system's theme changes. Now, I can show you how this works in action by using an app like Niche, for example. So I have Niche, which is a terminal fetch program. Let's say I open VS Codium. Okay, that's going to open up over here. And then let's say I have another app like Discord. Okay, now here we have all three of the apps inside of one workspace, which is what the scrolling layout allows you to do. So this is what it looks like. Now watch what happens when I change the theme. So I can change it to something like Everforest, and that is going to change the theme for VS Codium, as well as Discord, as well as the program and the fetch program running in the terminal as well. So if you want to know how to do this, I teach you how to do this inside of this module over here called theme switchers. So if I just click on this over here, as you can see, it's a 2-hour long module where basically I explain everything there is to know about theme switchers, what they actually are, how exactly you're supposed to go about setting them up. So this is the code that you're going to write in order to make this theme switcher yourself. And if we just forward a little bit, this is the actual folder configuration, how that's supposed to work. And then I show you more CSS configuration. This is for Hyperlock, by the way, you can get it to look like this, along with your logout menu, which looks like this, and so on and so forth. So that is how you can theme your computer using theme switchers, and I show you how to do that. Now, best part about this program is that you don't have to monkey see, monkey do, copy somebody else's dot files and then hope to God that it actually works, and then basically just cry over your God damn it, cry over your setup when it doesn't work, right? So you're not going to be doing any of that. Basically, what I'm doing is teaching you exactly how you can rise and how to make your setup look as good as this one, so that in the event that something actually breaks, one, you're able to troubleshoot it, and two, you can actually take pride in your own creation, in your own work, instead of just stealing somebody else's, changing a thing or two, and then calling it your own. Because trust me, that is not creativity. And I'm pretty sure most people who watch my channel are not complete retards who cannot think for themselves, right? The entire, what do you call it, personality or one of the core tenets of Linux and basically being a Linux user is not doing what everybody else does, not giving in to herd mentality, which basically means also doing things yourself and learning how to do things yourself. So if you want to know how to do that, I teach you exactly how to do it. First link in the description. Check out this program, and yeah. Okay, now let's get back to this. Okay, hold on. We're over here. Now what do we have to do? We just have to configure this plugin. Okay, now by default, as soon as you enable this, which you have to do by going into your layout config file, okay, you have to change general layout to scrolling. Now, if you're not able to find this particular setting, you can actually just enable this using hyprsctl. So hyprsctl is a command which is packaged with Hyprland that basically allows you to control different aspects of the compositor without having to edit the config file every single time. So let's say I type in hyprsctl keyword, okay, keyword general colon layout. I can change it to any particular layout that I want. Let's say I wanted a dwindle layout or a master layout. As you can see, this switches to the master layout, and that's it. I can also change this back to scrolling. So I can change it back to scrolling, goes to scrolling layout. Now if I open another window, that's what that looks like. I can also change it to dwindle. Now if you don't have, or if you're not able to locate this particular setting, you can just use hyprsctl in order to change the layout. But it's much better if you just figure out where this option is, where general layout is inside of your config, and then just change dwindle, because that's what it's going to be by default. Just change dwindle to scrolling. Okay, then after that, what we're going to be doing now is just configuring the plugin itself. Now let me actually make this much bigger so you can read it properly. Okay, scroll down, and this is what we have. Okay, so we have a bunch of config options. We have the descriptions and then what actually they do. Now, let's do this. The first one is going to be a column width. Now, how exactly does this scrolling layout work, you might be thinking? Well, we have multiple columns. Right now, there is only one column. Okay, now a column is basically kind of like a mini workspace inside of a big workspace. So what I can do is I can create a bunch of windows, and I can move this window over here. Okay, now this is one column. This column, okay, has only one window. This column has two windows. If let's say I wanted to move this entire column of two windows to a different workspace, I would use a keybind like mod shift 3, or actually super shift 3, or probably it would be something else, something like super shift. Okay, the command, I'll actually show you the exact command, what it is bound to inside of the config file in just a second, but you get the idea. This is a column inside of which you can put as many windows as you want, as many windows as can fit, okay? Now that is for column width. If you wanted to dictate the width of the column, it can either be 60% or 80% of the screen. This applies to newer workspaces. So if I open a window, this is 80% of the screen real estate that's being taken up by the window. So that is column width. Then after that, we have full screen on one column. Let's say you have only one window open, okay? By the nature of just opening one window, what's going to happen is that you have only one column. Okay, now with one column, basically full screen means maximized. Full screen doesn't truly mean full screen in all contexts when it comes to writing Hyprland and Hyprland's configuration files, okay? So when they say full screen here, they basically mean maximize. So maximize basically if you have only one window in a particular workspace, maximize that window, which is what happens. This is a floating right now, so it's in the center, but if I change it back to tiling, this is what you see. There's only one window, and because of which it is completely maximized, full screened, if you will. Okay, and this is what opening another window is like. Great. Then after that, we have follow focus, which is set to true. Now what follow focus does is, let's say I open a different window, okay? Right now, with follow focus set to true, wherever my cursor goes, whichever window my cursor hovers over, that window has focus, and the compositor switches and pans around based on whichever window I'm currently hovering over. Now, if I don't want that functionality for some reason, let's say I use click to focus instead of tap to focus, or actually hover to focus, okay? Because that's the default behavior in something like GNOME. Let's say you wanted to just basically use Hyprland with all the fancy effects and blurs and whatnot, but then not actually use GNOME. You can enable title bars. Okay, you can enable title bars like this, and then you can also get access to Hyprland's stuff, GNOME's overview, right? All of which, by the way, I show you how to configure inside of the program, which is the first link in the description. So if you want to know how to get title bars like these and overviews like these, not to mention custom theme switchers like these, you can go ahead and click the first link in the description and check it out. You just pause this video, you can go ahead, check that out, and you can come back later once you've finished it. Okay, but that is what you get. Now, let's actually turn these title bars off. But yeah, if you wanted to replicate the GNOME style, where basically you click on a window to focus it instead of just hovering over it, maybe this is where follow focus set to false would actually help you out more. Otherwise, you're better off leaving it to true, because what's going to happen is even if you click on a window, it's not going to get it to focus. And you have a huge portion, or a sizable portion of a window cut off for no reason. So leave it to false. True. Then for focus fit method, so this is basically if a window is being cut off, okay, what should you do with that? Should you center the window or should you just basically fit the column fully on the screen? Sometimes this is a bit hard to notice, but you can either set this to 0 or 1. Note the difference in the windows that you personally use, because sometimes you might be using windows that are not quite sized the exact same as mine. So if you don't see a difference, then you can just let this be the default, whichever one it is. Otherwise, if you do see a difference between 0 and 1, okay, you can keep whichever one that you want. I personally, with these windows that I'm using over here, it's very hard to see a difference. It's basically the same. So I'm just going to leave it be the default, whichever one it was. Okay, so the default would be 0. So that's what it's going to be. We'll change it later. Yeah. Then for explicit column widths. Now, where this comes in handy is basically you can change the width of each column. Okay, you can change the width of every column. So this is one column, right? So you can change the width of this column by using a certain keybind. That keybind I will show you right now. But the predefined widths that you can switch between are these: the 50%, 67%, 80%, and 100%. So let me show you how exactly you can switch through that. So let's go to binds.conf, and here you should see for the scrolling layout a bunch of binds. Okay, now this is going to be a bind somewhere over here, but before that, let's cover the rest of the binds so that you can understand what exactly the most useful binds are. So we see a bunch of these layout messages that we can use, right? But not all of them are going to be the most useful. So I've just picked the ones that you're going to use the most and I put them over here so that you can just skip having to test out everything yourself. Okay. Now, super period. By default, by the way, my main mod key is going to be my alt key. So if I'm switching between workspaces and whatnot, if I'm opening these menus, it's going to be with main mod, which is alt. So super is the key that I'm using in order to do layout stuff. So if I press super period, okay, what's going to happen is it'll just pan left and right. So when it says move plus call, it's basically move to another column on the right side. When it says move minus call, move to a column on the left side. So let's say I open a bunch more windows, and if I do this, if I press super period, what's going to happen, it's going to switch between columns left and right. Okay, it just goes to a new column, completely new column. Then here, if I press super comma, it's just going to go to the previous column. That's it. That is how you can switch between different columns using the scrolling layout. Okay, you have to use layout message, move plus call and minus call. Now, for this one, move windows between columns or directions. This is basically just promoting to a column. Let's say I use super shift period. Okay, this is going to get the window on the right side, which was previously on the right side, and then put it into this current column. If I show you here, super shift period, move window to right column. Let's open another one. Okay, now if I super shift period, this just moves the window to the right column. If I want to go to the left column again, I would just type in super shift comma. That shifts the window to the left column. I can also do super shift up and down to change the position of the window within a particular column. That's it. That is what these keybinds do. Okay, then let's go here. And this is for resizing the current column. Okay, now as you can see, this column or this window column, whatever you want to call it, is currently whatever size it is. Let's say I wanted to increase its size. I would do something like super equal, which would increase its size by 0.1. And I can do super minus, which would decrease its size by 0.1. This is what it does. And I think this would be a good opportunity to show you what focus fit method can do. Let's try this. Okay, and now if I type super equal, super minus, yeah. Okay, still not able to see a difference. So if you see a difference, you can just go ahead, let me know what difference you see in the comments. But as for my setup, I don't see anything. Okay, now super X is just going to resize the particular column. If I type super C and super X, it's just going to expand and contract the particular column. Now, super C and X are different from super equal and minus, because here, equal and minus are reducing or increasing the size of the column by a fixed amount, which is 0.1. But if you remember here, we've mentioned explicit column widths, right? We've mentioned these widths. And if you want to actually access these widths, what we're going to have to do is use call resize plus conf and minus conf. So plus conf is going to increase this way, minus conf is going to decrease this way. Let's say I use super C. This is 100%. Cycle backward. This is probably, which one is it? 80%, 0.67%, actually 67%. And then this one is 50%. Because as you can see, the two windows are perfectly centered in line with each other, like so. Okay, then you have column management. So if you open a bunch of windows and then let's say I press super P, it's going to promote. Let's actually try this. Let's put this here, super P to promote. Okay, so let's say you have a window, but then you put that over here, okay? You put this window, let's say we'll call this window 1. If you want to promote window 1 to its own little column, you have to press super P, which is going to promote and push the window over to the right. That is what promote does. Then we have super F, which is going to toggle fit, basically put the focused window in a new column. Hold on. Okay, that was promote. Now toggle fit is going to toggle center versus fit. So if we do this, let's put this here, super F. Yeah, look, fit is basically fitting the window, all of the windows inside of this workspace, right? Inside of the monitor. If I press super F again, it's centering it no matter the width. So if you want to fit all of the windows in a particular order, you can use super F in order to toggle fit. Otherwise, if you just want the window to be centered so you can see it on your screen, you can use super F to toggle between that. Okay, then we have super S, which gives you swap column with right. So super S is just going to swap columns. Okay, it's best if I show you with 3 windows. So if I press super A, it's going to shift the column to the left. Super S is going to shift column to the right. So just to make sure you understand, this is the first column, right? Now let's go over here. Let's say I want this window 1, to be the first window. So I'd press super A twice, shifting the window to here, and press super F to toggle fit, basically fitting all of the windows as much as possible inside of one particular workspace, one particular screen, right? Now let's say I wanted to move this back to the edge. Let's call this window 3 in that case. Super S twice, moving this to the edge of the screen. That is how you can use swap call and these binds in order to move left and right. Okay, now this one, yes, this is what I was talking about when I said move the entire column to another workspace. So if I use super 1, let's say I add a bunch of windows to this column, okay? So let's put that window here. Let's also put this here. Let's just, yeah, there you go. So we'll put that here. And let's say I want to move this entire column of windows into a different workspace. I just typed super 3, but super 3 doesn't work because we haven't bound it. So let's actually just bind that real quick. Super 3, layout MSG, moved column to workspace 3. Now if I press super 3, watch what happens. The entire column is moved from workspace 2 to workspace 3, like so. And that's it. That is how you can use the scrolling layout to basically make your life much, much easier and get a feel for how Niri works as well. If you want to know how to make a custom theme switcher like this one, along with a Waybar theme switcher, this one I actually forgot to show you, but if you want to know how to make a Waybar theme switcher like this one as well, go ahead, click the first link in the description, check out the program, Hyper Accelerator. I teach you exactly how to do this inside of the Waybar section as well, which is another monstrosity, 2.5 hour long module. Where did that go? Yes, status sorcery, right? You just click here. Okay, regardless, I'm pretty sure this module is 2.5 hours long, at least 2 hours 40 minutes. So you get the best of the best, right? If you liked the video, hit like. If you loved it and want to see more like this in your feed, hit subscribe, and I will see you next time. Stay rising.